you have a number of collaborations with students and mentoring students and really helping to get them to their next phase of their career. It sounds like you've had a really good example for how to mentor someone through your interactions. um, how do you mentor? Like, what are the tricks of mentoring that you've picked up or learned a bit that really makes a difference for how you interact with your students and peers?
Sure. Um, so I absolutely do model my mentor. And one of the most basic uh, elements of that is to be welcome and kind and, create that safe space to be scientifically creative in it. And once you have that relationship, with the student, and my goal is to get them to be peer to peer and not think of me as, some professor in an ivory tower. So right away, it's, don't call me Dr. Nurkiewicz, it's Tim. And, everything from there, is aimed at establishing that relationship that I'm there to help them, not to tell them what to do. And that's critical. I mean, there are times when you're instructing, when you're teaching new techniques, that there is that tell component, but it's a small part of PhD training. Once they have their skills, that's really where the relationship kind of picks up, because then they're going through the experiences that you went through, and you're telling stories of when you were a student and when you were struggling, and to share those, those vulnerabilities openly with them. It demonstrates to the students that you're committed to them, and you're one of them, and you're no different than them. And I think once that I see that, I think that is when I know the relationship, the mentor-mentee relationship is good.
So what sort of things do your students go on to do, or what sort of things, if somebody were to start to get into this field of respiratory tox, nanotox, what kind of opportunities, where does one go with that?
Sure. By and large, my trainees stay in academia. And I've been doing this long enough that I've seen them make it through promotion and tenure. Um, so, I mean,
Well
we are a
done.
basic, yeah, thank you. So we are a basic science laboratory. And so we tend to produce more academics. Now, some of them have gone on to teaching schools, and they are teaching the next generation of scientists and healthcare professionals. And I think that's every bit as rewarding as research is.
So do you consider yourself a toxicologist, or your laboratory grad, when they come out with the PhD, are they toxicologists, or are they, what's their degree turn into?
Yeah, that's a great question. Because my trainees come out, depending on how they want to sell themselves, as an inhalation toxicologist or a microvascular physiologist. And as of the past few years, the work that we're doing with reproductive physiology, they can sell that as well. And so what I tell folks is, it depends on who you're applying for a position with, and what you want to be. At the end of the day, yes, you trained under me, but I never had an expectation that I was cloning myself. This is your PhD, and it's what you want to make of it. If you wind up doing work in my field, I'm flattered that you like it, that you want to stay. And I do have trainees that are in the field, and are very prominent as well. And I could advocate for you to interview them next.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's their degree, and so it's up to them in terms of how they sell it.